Yep, and we're moving on to our first story about Orca FPV.
Oh.
Orca FPV has lowered the price on their goggles, likely in response to the HD0 sale. We saw them post right after that they were going to drop the price. So yeah, we got a new price from them, and
New price
I totaled.
$4.99 for the racing edition with the smaller field of view.
Yeah, and I
No,
titled this.
$4.69. Sorry, Blunty, keep interrupting you. Go ahead.
Yeah, so and I titled this section, "Is it low enough?" And my answer is no, it's not low enough.
Well, let's talk about that.
Yeah,
Why is it not low
499
enough?
euros is 538 US dollars.
Oh,
So
that's
for five,
euros. How
so
dare
for
you, Orca?
so for $538, you can buy an Orca goggle, or for $495 right now, and $595 later, you can buy HD0 goggles, which are as good or better in many ways, have better screens, have better refresh rate, have better everything, will support analog better, and have a built-in HD0 module that comes with them.
Yeah.
I don't. Orca does not seem to be directly competing at this point, or attempting to, because that price does not at least show me that they are attempting to directly compete.
Yeah, I think that you're right. I've been using the HD0 goggles for the last I don't know when I got them, but at least a week. And I recorded the video a couple days ago. It's in editing, my review. So I have thoughts. I have fresh thoughts about it. I think that if a person only flew analog and had literally zero interest in HD0 or walk snail, then there could be an argument that Orca is a better goggle for them than the HD0 goggle. It's going to have a bigger screen. That's not true. 38 degrees. It's the same.
Yeah.
Assuming a 4.3 camera, they have the same field of view. Your screen's going to be the same size. I guess what was the main thing would be that it's just sort of more compact. You don't have the module hanging off the side.
Yeah, basically you just don't have a module bay, but that's literally the only. I mean, but you have worse analog too. You don't have that interlacing and
the deinterlacer. That does matter. But like somewhere out there, there's someone who would say, I'd rather have the Orca goggles. They're lighter, they're smaller, they're more compact. But at a higher price, I just don't see it. And how many people out there truly can say that I do not and never will have interest in any other video system than analog? Come on, really? And as soon as you crack that door, the HD0 goggle surges into the lead.
Yeah, pretty much. Just because it's got 1080p screens, and so if you were, for instance, going to do the walk snail system, you'd only be able to run that in 60 frames per second mode on the Orca goggles.
Correct.
Yeah, I just think I don't know. We talked before about that the HD0 goggles will go back up in price to $595 or $599 on like the 6th, 5th, or 6th or something of next month. So at that point, you'll be paying, you can pay $538 for the FPV1 Pilot, or you can pay $599 to get a module and a better, I would arguably say, a better goggle. It's got better screens and better features, and it's open source. I mean,
yeah. Oh, it's got so much going for it.
Like the at least the software side's open source. Orca's like, yes, we'll make you components for, we'll make you extra software, and then they're like, actually, we're not going to make you software, or this software is not going to come, and that sort of thing. And I don't know. There's just a lot of pieces here that make me wonder, where they're really trying to fit in here, where they see themselves in the market.
Yeah. There are some questions coming in the chat that I think deserve to be acknowledged. Guillermo Nispolo is confused by my statement about the screen on the HD0. Let me try and make this as concise as possible. If you have a 16:9 screen and you're showing a 4:3 image inside the 16:9 screen, which will be the case if you're using an analog camera on the HD0 goggles, then you got a 46-degree field of view widescreen, but that's only a 38-degree field of view if you're looking at a 4:3 image pillar boxed inside that 69 screen. That is, the Orca goggle has a 4:3 screen with like a 37-degree field of view. The HD0 goggle has a 16:9 screen with a 46-degree field of view that becomes 38 degrees when you look at a 4:3 camera. So if you're flying analog, Orca will have just as big an image, unless you have an analog camera that does 16:9, which they do exist. But I assume that that's the minority. Can you just update other existing goggles to run the screens at 100 hertz? Like, that's one of the big things HD0 is going for it in terms of HD0, and when used with the Walk Snail VRX, that they can run at 90 hertz or 100 hertz. I don't think you can.
No, I mean you would have to do, like we discussed, you'd have to do some kind of like thing like DJI is doing, where you do half frames or something, so your goggles are seeing a different amount than the camera is running at.
Mm-hmm.
But really, there's not a lot to be gained there since you're not, you
No,
know what I mean, you're not recording it.
exactly.
Whereas there is something to be gained because you have 90 hertz displays in the HD0 goggle. So
Yep. So the HD0 goggle is a real killer product right now for anyone who flies analog. It's arguably the best, especially at the lower price. I guess I'm trying to be contrary. Somebody in my Discord was like, I like a big field of view. Skyzone Sky04X has a bigger field of view with an analog system than the HD0. I think they're at like 40. I think they're like around 46 degrees with a 4.3 screen. So it's going to be significantly bigger than the 38-degree 4.3 field of view of the HD0 goggle. Skyzone's not a bad analog goggle, and it works okay with the Walksnail VRX2. But it's like $569, so it's more expensive.
yeah.
They're killing it.
Yeah, and you're losing, like we said, you're losing that 100 hertz mode on the walk snail, so you're running always going
that's
to
a
run
good
that
point.
higher latency.
That is a good point. Can't overlook that.
Yep.
Yep. Nobody else does that. Not yet. So good job, HD0, and good job. I will say also, we got another news piece coming up, don't we? Do we have a news piece coming up about the 90 hertz thing?
No, we didn't do
we
that one.
decided not to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just briefly say, I flew the 90 hertz camera, the 90 FPS camera. I was affected. I need more experimentation is needed, but I was noticeably impressed, and I didn't expect to be. Like, I really expected it to be another situation where it's like, it seems the same to me, because it's only like 2 milliseconds faster latency. So what difference could it possibly make? I don't know, but I was impressed.
Might be time for some double blind testing there, but it's hard because there's a different resolution, right?
It's different resolution. So I thought, what if they implemented a 540-60 mode, which they actually are going to implement, and then you could run 540-60 and 540-90 and do a test. But I'm pretty sure you could tell the difference between 60 and 90 FPS just visually.
Yeah, but
right?
That's enough. Isn't that enough? To me, that's enough to say, okay, great. Like, I don't know that everybody knows that for sure. That's what I would say. I think a lot of people would argue that.
I don't know. I don't think you could blind. I think it would be difficult to blind that. But I'm always interested in science. That's why I'm kind of hesitant to go, oh yeah, no, it was so good, because I know placebo is real.
Well, I think there's a difference between saying, are we blind testing latency, and are we blind testing, can I tell which one is which, right? Like, to me...
Oh, yeah.
Like, I think if you blind test and just make sure you know which one is which, for sure, right? Mm-hmm. To me, that shows like, hey, at least there's a difference here. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. You're right. The very first thing you do is you just do a split test where you see if they can tell the damn difference between A and B. And if not, then stop. That's why go ahead.
What are you seeing except a smoother video? You know what I mean? Like, what are you seeing except more frames that make it easier to... I don't know. Like, I feel like that test, even though it seem simple, is showing the difference that they're purporting to have, right?
Fair enough. I mean, I have a theory that... So here's what confused me, Blunty. Analog video, very low latency, as low as maybe 16 milliseconds. I'm skeptical that the difference between 14 and 16 milliseconds is perceptible, but I could be wrong. 14 milliseconds being what HD0 90 FPS runs at. I have also flown high frame rate with like DJI 120 FPS, and neither of them did I feel was like, OMG, what's happening here? This is amazing. This is weird. I wonder if there's something about the combination of high frame rate and low latency, which I've never flown before. That is what I'm feeling.
Yeah, could be.
Very interesting. Well, so more about that when the video comes out, but a little HD0. We were supposed to be doing Orqa news. We did HD0. Oh, well, that was kind of the point of the story, I guess, right?
It's okay.
Yeah. All right. Anything else to say about Orqa?
No, I think that's about it. Maybe people will respond differently, but like I said, I don't feel like it's going to change that much in people's minds. We'll find out.
The big thing with HD0 is they can't make them fast enough. Is actually the problem right now. They got to make them faster.